Thank you for giving me this opportunity to initiate the topic. Today our topic is recession. Recession means the a time period when our businesses are now going slow and infrastructure not developing well, and that time our lack of GDP and that that called recession, and recession is also affected our the countries like India, and Pakistan, and there are many countries who are now developing this, and that also in the of corona pandemic that also affected all the countries, and the companies like Meta, Google, and many more companies are the decisions, and that time they also dispute their members, and that time companies not growing well, and that also affected our GDP and economy, and recession is that time period when our infrastructure now lose their the facilities, and that called recession.
Yes, friends, I am
Friends,
agree with you.
agree with
I want
you.
to
I
add
add
one
more
more point
point.
here. What is recession? Recession is a time period when the industries and when the industries of a country is not successful. In the time of recession, the GDP of a country is also in negative. Recession is also called a downturn. In the time period of recession, people get unemployed, and in the present scenario, many countries are on the edge of recession.
डायरेक्ट जीडी सेशन हो रहा है सभी लोग.
Yes, friends, I agree with you. I add more point. As we know, if any country and businessman not successful on their business, it is a recession. It is also known as a downturn. There are several reasons of recession, like global warming. Due to global warming, our environment are changed. And many raw material and product are not prepared just soon, but demand are much less, uh, but demand are very increase in our country, so it is also one reason.
Yes,
Friend, I
my
am agree
dear.
with you, and I would like to add a point that in the corona pandemic, our country and all over the world faces the recession because we know that no any business is going well on that period. So in that period, every country facing the recession.
Yes, my dear. Like natural disaster, climate changes, and pandemic time also impact on working and development of any country and create a problem of recession. And it recession also increases the unemployment level and poverty level in a country.
Yes, friend, I agree with you. Disaster and pandemic like COVID affect the world, and the example of it is Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka's economy is only based on the tourism. In COVID pandemic, there is no tourism in Sri Lanka, and it is, and we can see the condition of Sri Lanka now.
Yes, friend, I agree with you. And India is the one of country who helped the Sri Lanka when he is facing the crisis, and we see that nowadays India is developing, and there are less chance of recession and economical crisis. India is self-relevant country, and our PM Narendra Modi also provide 20 lakh crore rupees to be self-relevant, and this is very helpful for the businessmen and many many people who belong to rural area and the farmers.
Yes, friends, I agree with you. As we know, many big company like Amazon, Flipkart, and Microsoft are also got the hug number of jobs, and most of the people are unemployed. It is also not good for their people.
Yes, friends, I want to add one more point here that in the recession time, many contraction are in there are many contraction in economical activities, and many European countries are facing a recession because of the Russia-Ukraine war. Because America sanctions the Russian oil and gases, and many European countries are not buying the gases from Russia, and they are facing recession.
Yes, friend, war also impact our economy and GDP, and that also the provide the recession, and they developed the recession in the pandemic time, and war also increased that type of things because Ukraine have also a largest country to provide the grain to other countries, and also Russia provide the gas, minerals, and petroleum things that can use the European countries, and they also dependent on it. But in the war time, they cannot purchase because the sanctions on the Russia that also impact on the European unions.
Yes, friend, I
Yes, friends, I'm
you,
agree
and
with
I
you. I
would
am.
like to add a point that in if a country facing recession, so the other country help them. Like example of Russia, when the Russia facing the recession, that no one can buy him to oil and many other things. That time India announced that he buy the petrol and diesel and many other things from the Russia, and that is very helpful for Russia, and that is effect on GDP and also effect on the relation between Russia and Ukraine, Russia and India. That's it.
Yes,
Yes,
friends,
my
I'm
dear.
agree with
This is
you.
impact on transportation
US
and exports of a country. So, because of impact on transportation and exports of a country, the condition of external debt will be created because of recession.
Friends, I'm agree with you. As we know, European country are also faced a recession uh, in 1929. It is also known as a big recession on European country. Some countries are also improve the recession, and some countries are not improved. Uh,
And I am agree with you, and I would like to add a point that your infrastructure also affect on the recession and the corruption. When your country facing the corruption, then it also face recession, because if infrastructure is not good, then company don't provide many thing, and their transportation charge is high, then he will face the recession.
Yes, friend.
in-
As we know that impact of recession is mostly on the rural people, or I can say poor people. As I want to mention some reasons why this recession has been created. Firstly, I want to mention the monopoly created by our big companies can make the recession, or I can say slow down the market. And secondly, the riots and rallies towards the product or against the product make the recession. And thirdly, I want to mention that the increase in price of product to make the recession, and fourth, lack of product, or I can say lack of product can make also recession.
In my opinion, recession is a slowdown or a massive contraction in Indian activities. Several countries are already on the edge of recession. The world is experiencing an energy shortage as a country. Europeans are struggling to provide gas and electricity to their cities in order for them stay warm and winter.
Yes, friend. As we know that it affects mostly in our GDP and economy. As we know that it is also so big social issue that are facing all over the world. I can say that if we take the example of Russia, they are taking over their recession, as if USA has make sanction towards Russia. And secondly, I want to give an example of Pakistan. Pakistan has taken as a burden and going depleting their economy day by day. And if we take the example of India, we are growing and we are moving away from the recession.
Yes, and I am agree with you. And our neighboring countries are now facing the recession, and like Sri Lanka have also faced the recession, and there are the main reasons of Sri Lanka faces of recession that they made the success they cannot collect the tax, and that is the also a reason of recession, and that also dependent on the tourism sector, and in the COVID-19 pandemic they have also affect tourism sector to all countries, and they also face a recession.
Yes, gentle, I am agree with your opinion, but in my opinion, we are also winter with companies like Meta, Amazon, Microsoft cut a high number of jobs. Climate disaster have also caused significant loss the many countries during this hard time. A high number of job loss increases unemployment rate in many countries, high level of employment debt for countries. Many people all over world believe.
And in the time of recession, we see that in our country the demand of goods and services is high and the supply of goods and services is low. Then the condition of inflation in goods and services is also increased in the time of recession and in the time of emergency.
Yes, friend,
Friend,
I
I
am agree
agree
with
with
you,
you, and
and
I
I
would like to add a point that in the time of recession, the poor people and the rural area people faces many problems. Like they lost their job and they don't have enough money to survive their life. They don't have money to buy the food and get the food. So recession affect uh, most of the rural area people and the who people who below from poverty line.
Yes, friend. I want to tell the examples of what sectors has been affected. Firstly, I want to say that our poverty level has been increased if recession has been done in our country. And secondly, the unemployment rate also increases if the recession has been done. And thirdly, I want to say that it almost hit the backbone of our GDP and economy, because recession after recession, product sale has been decreased. And lastly, I want to give a solution towards that. If we do not want to if we do not want that recession should be applied in our country, so our government should take action and make laws and amendment so that recession can't be cured in our country.
Yes, friend, I may agree with the Raj's point that there are many big companies like Amazon, Meta, and Facebook also reducing the number of employees in their companies, and there are many reasons of recession, and one of them is the burden of loan on the countries, and there is an example of this. The condition of Pakistan and Sri Lanka, they take loans from many countries and they are not able to return it.
As gentlemen, I am agree with your opinion, but in my opinion, many people are all over world believe first to poverty due to job loss and increased cost of living. Like many other countries, India export sector many face loss because of big global damage. There is many changes in India will expire research. Research is a natural phenomena in the economic cycle where the demand research peak and start a decline.
जाएगा बोल दिया तो hello dear friends, I'm also agree with your opinion because recession is one of the biggest issue of for a country. Like an, as an example, recent time the recession was come in the economy of Sri Lanka and the economy of Sri Lanka get crashed. And recent time in India has faced in 2008 recession, and now the researchers are saying that in near future there is no chance of recession in India's economy. Thank you.
Friend, in my point of view, recession also and also directly affect on our employment rate and also the GDP and things our the if we maintain the recession, that we can also provide a good infrastructure to our companies and provide well maintenance, and the foreign companies are want to invest in our India, that we can also give him the facilities uh, and rule implement simply that can survive in our country.
Dear old friends, in my opinion, recession recession oh, directly affects the chain of demand and supply. So the people who are involved in the chain of supply gets unemployment. So that the recession increases the unemployment rate in a country. Thank
Yes, friends, I agree with Ryan on point. Due to recession, most of the company are not fulfill the basic need for in market and not available the some things what is the market in our country. So it is one reason of a recession, and poor people are not able to
my dear friend. You know that reception is play a main role in our country, and it is a very effective for our GDP growth, and it is break bond. It break the bond of our country. But now our country is not a phase for to from reception, but reception is the reception is behind the problem, the main reason of natural and human beings. For that in our country and many other countries facing from many times kind of problems like corona mahamari and other floods and other natural activities also affect to our country GDP growth, and it is the reason to become reception. So I think that reception is very harmful for that country which is suffering from that. And first best example in our neighbors countries like Sri Lanka, Pakistan also is suffering from reception, and and our country also support in that country. So it is uh, very it is proudful for us.
The consolidated fund of India's economy may be useful to at the time of recession to overcome from the condition of recession. And the one point that we the per capita income because of increasement in unemployment level is also decreasing because and also weaken our India's economy, we, or India's economy.
And at
Good
last,
morning.
I would like to say that
I want to share some my views on recession and what are the factors which affect the recession. So uh, the first thing, a recession is a time, or we can say that a period in which the rate of employment is high, and the profit of any industrialize is decreasing, and banks and we can say that the production of any industry is also decreasing, and the bank amount and is also decreasing. There are some factors which affect the recession, just like we can say the excessive interest on any amount, or excessive tax in any country, and the lack of consumers, and we can say that the lack of awareness about the economy, and the inequality among the salary of pupils of the country. These are the factors by which the recession can take place in any country. Dear friends, I'm also agree with you, because the recession will result in unemployment, and the unemployment will result in the increased rate of crimes. So this is a very big issue for a country, because it will result in crime and many other activities. So it should be stopped to be done in our country.
Of course, my friend, I agree with your point. Just that in earlier time in a pandemic situation, right, our country of the economy is the who decreases, and the time we have seen is the in all sectors we all the value of any, and just we talk about the GDP gross domestic product. So also our income are decreasing, and that time. So that time is our economy is always decreasing, and we have seen many person are lost their jobs and workers, and because that time some guidelines are issued, we have make distance to hand, and some guidelines we are wearing mask and many sanitizers processes that we so easily the case of recession. Yes, my dear friend, that our country also prepared against reception, because that in our country our government launched many schemes like Startup India, Make in India, and other scheme also promote in our country, and our country is developing country. So it is a very beneficial this scheme for our to make our infrastructure improve, and our GDP growth also increased in that time than earlier time. So nowadays our country is better position in other countries, and
My
we know that international also step strict step against exception, like we know that many kind of organization available in international platform, like World Bank and G20 group and NATO all already to promote uh, many kind of countries which is facing from that problems.
My dear friend, I totally agree with your point. If we observe the developed country, we find that the countries which are developed, there is the only reason for their development, which is recession. And in India, our country, we also must have to develop this type of condition.
Of course, my friend, just I would add some other points as per you. Just you know that if any country are belongs to the level of recession, then some country groups are help to each other. Just my friend mentioned a World Bank. At that time, USA economy is just a sustainable. So this country are maybe helpful for which country is not developed, but in a area of developing country.
Friend, at last time I would like to say that recession is also effect on GDP and also economic condition. So our government our governments also promote the many companies who are stable in who are still in our country. It is very helpful for our country. And
Yes, friends, we all know about recycling and why it is important. We know that wastage material can make new material, like newspapers make a new product, and it will increase our GDP and less expensive for create new products.
Yes, my dear friend, we know
Of
that
course, my friend. Just you know that the
world
group
war
of
and terrorism attack, and like Ukraine Russia war and Iran Hamas war, and nowadays currently Iran to Pakistan missile attack is also the reason of reception come to that in a country.
Yes,
Of
friend.
course, my
government
friend. And just said the recession is a group of which member are including into a GDP. In this under which country are happen, then almost percent all of the economy are involved in this group. So much with the solution of the how to be remove from the recession. This is a good unity of the GDP.
Yes, Pratham, I agree with you. All businessmen and companies are responsible to search in market which things are more demand, and that things are made. So it is also reduce the recession.
My
Yes, friend,
friend,
I
I
want to
agree with
share
your
some
point.
views
Just I
and some
want to
reasons by which we can overcome of the recession, or in a simple word, we can say that we can get rid from it. That is, we should minimize the interest rate in our country, because the people and farmers and the we can say that any businessman take a interest from the bank. So due to high interest, they are unable to pay that interest in the banks, by which they can face the losses in their business. And the second is we should the lack of consumer confidence. Suppose that there are many people are doing the business of any sector, and they don't have confidence about it, that he is doing right or not wrong. uh, is he get profit or not? They are get confused, by which they also get can face the deflation in their income. And the second one is income inequality is also a factor that affects the recession in any country. So we can make a equal we can make we can focus to make the equal income in all over the country, in all over the world. These are the factor by which we can overcome the recession.
My
Of
dear
course,
friend,
my
you
friend.
said
Just we know that
you
every
said
year our finance minister are just so what is the economy based, because Honorable Sita Raman is also faced every year the finance budget, and he explained which amount are different in the defense sector, how our amount in education sector, how our amount, and what our amount will be gone for the infrastructure. This is, if we planning a good way, then also our country will be go with the developed country. And maybe our honorable prime minister said that almost 2047 after the Amrit Kal, we have we hope to make in our developed country. We I hope this future are true almost as soon as possible.
my friend, you
That
said the point of
the
Prime
corruption
Minister
is the main
in
reason behind the
2014.
reception. We know that in our countries, many kind of corruption has done by many others. For example, 2D scam is also done, and it is a put of lot of bunton in our country and another country. So, which is the main reason to comes. Reception in that country.
My dear friend, you said about the point of Prime Minister scheme to complete make and the country 2014. So it also plays a role in avoiding the unpoverty, and time to begin. It's time to make a chain in which all the people are dependent and work to make the country forward in business sector.
At last,
Yes,
I would
friend.
like to say that if we reduce recession, then we have to increase our infrastructure, and we have to increase industrialization, and we also have to increase our economy, and we have to decrease our demanding of the products. That's all.
If we increase our demand, the supply is done more than the demand.
Yes, friend, there are some other factors by which we can save our country from the recession. That is, our government should provide more and more employment to the people, so they don't have to go the other foreign countries for their income purpose. So we should provide more and more employment to the people, and we should plug the more and more industries in our country. And the other is a main factor by which the recession can overcome on our country. Uh, that is we can say that we should minimize the export from other countries. We should take the products from the own countries which is made by our country. We should and we should focus to export more and more more product from our country to the other country, but we should avoid the other country products just like China product and USA and other type of country product, by which we can make our GDP strong, and we can save our country from the recession pandemic.
Yes,
I
Of
think
course,
gentlemen,
my
I
friend. And
totally
just I
satisfied
one
your
friend
China is a
opinion.
mentioned
China
that the
country.
case of the corruption
Uh,
and many scams are happen. Just one scam of 2G, and as you know that the about Hassan Mehta scheme, this is also a one time which is scheme is our just flop our whole economy, because the Hassan Mehta scheme was too big, and after all the Indian economy was too down to the just bull and burst out. So because of that area in coming to future, that type of activity are not happen. And just as you know that in many planning are happen just for local for developing country. And as you know that in current time our prime minister Minister are promoting to low level category, the MSME. But this under this scheme, many small businessmen, just like this scheme name is PM Vishwakarma Yojana. Many small entrepreneurs are open that scheme, and he also build up for the country.
Agree with the farmer
Agree with
speaker
your point,
friends.
my
Here I
dear
would like to
friend. I
mention
want to
some new
suggest
point.
to observe the
Friend, as
China
you
country.
know that in the during in the COVID pandemic all over the country like America, America and GTC company but in this time in China or situation is compared to other countries and the specifically like Manrega, Renga, the time for government giving some facility like for MP, the MSP are 2,000 rupees. Thank you.
Dear
My
orphan, as the
just
candidate
want to
said that the
developing country.
corruption
So
scams
we
are
must to the
low.
China, which is becoming more developed and developed day by day. The main reason is it is supplying all their things which are made in country to the other country. As India gains mostly 98.6% mobiles from the China, which make them more developed and make us dependent on them.
Dear friends,
Dear host,
that globalization and privatization is helpful for to overcome from reception. So it is very useful in our country and such country which that are available privatization.
dear friends, as
And
the podium said that and the scams are also responsible for the recession because the corruption and scams are also becomes the loopholes for our country's economy that will result in recession. And we the government is also taking some important steps to stop recession in our country like vocal for local and make in India and Vishkarma Yojana, Rozgar Melas and many other programs are also started by the government to stop recession in our country.
Of course,
Dear
my
friend,
friend, just
Yes,
we
friend,
mentioned
I
that
totally
in a country reception are such that that country how to condition defense sector and how to condition education sectors and and how to their country economic is better. So it is in fact on that country to become a reception.
Concluding the topic
yes,
recession is
gentlemen,
a
I
system
totally
in which the
satisfied
business
your
and industry are
opinion.
become
Friend,
unsuccessful,
at it,
and so we must have to try to make the business and industrial sector develop, and we
yes, gentlemen, I totally satisfied your opinion, and here I want to put some new point. Friend, as you know that in this era all over the world, Spain is a country where more than reception coming in the another country. And friend, as you know that in this our country, more than milk and rice if produced. And friend, as you know that when you export the rice and milk another country like Sri Lanka, Nepal, etc. So it is affect our GDP and reduce the recession in our country, India.
dear
And
friend, I
that
totally agree with your point,
the
but I want to
international
add a
policy
point
is
in it.
also
The country
affect
which are
in
developed is the
reception. So it
reason that
is
they follow the
in our
equality.
country a government an international policy is better. So in our country the position of is better in another country and another country's relationship is smoothly. So it is a benefit for our country and it is useful to increase our GDP growth and to make our infrastructure strong.
of course, my friend, and just we know that the recession is not good for any country. So every country, some planning has happened for the future. How to we save our future, and as well as financial way, healthy way, and in education sector. And just that if any country go give me some money by the interest, we cannot receive because some debts are also a burden for our country. So in a excessive amount of loan, we cannot take from any country because after the time this is also a burden because just we putting some index in one time. Sri Lanka has more money taken from the China, but after some time China take from many interest that country. So this Sri Lanka economy has also go a very bad level. And second example of the Pakistan. Also, Pakistan take money from Sri Lanka and also pay many interest for that. So we cannot take many debts from the any country.
Yes, gentlemen, I totally satisfied your opinion, and here I want to put some new point. Friend, as you know that reception is coming and any places particular preset at the same time. And friend, as you know that in 2020 coming to Sri Lanka crisis, and when we want to reduce the reception, so we want to more than globalization. By the globalization, where our country coming together. And friend, as you know that in this year 2020, our country host G20. By the G20, all country coming together and talk about how to face any condition like reception and COVID pandemic etc. Thank you.
Of course, my friend, just you mentioned the group of G20. G20 group is also a good discussion about almost 20 countries because that the host of this citizens all the member of say how, if any country will be trouble, then if other country are help to each other. So this is good scheme for any financial help, any healthcare effect, and any defense sector.
Yes, friend, I totally agree with you, and here I want to put some new point. Friend, as you know that in 2022 happened Russia and Ukraine war. So, friend, as you know that in the Ukraine is reception coming, and friends, you know that in our country sending some rice and wheat. So this is a very good condition for our India to reduce the reception. And friend, as you know that in the UN or international system, however, IMF means International Money Funding. He provided to loan all over the country. So it is a good achievement for every country. Thank you.
That the geographic condition is also affect reception. We know that geographic condition is a way play a main role in that country and development and investment. For example, Japan. Japan is their country is a lot of bhukam is available and has come many times. But in that country, infrastructure and developing and technology system is very high. So it is very useful to fight in uh, that problems. So it is very useful and technology is also uh, 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 the reason to come our reception.
Of course, my friend, just you